What's up, guys? Welcome back. Lifting Jelly here. If you've seen me in this shirt before, it's because I just did a video earlier. But I wanted to knock out a couple things before I head into work for the day. One of them being a topic that I've made several video attempts of, but just the words did not come out right. And what I wanted to talk about today is body image and loving yourself and being okay with being in your own skin. This is something that I would say like 99.9% of people have had an issue with. You know, if you're a person that has always been confident in the skin that you're in, kudos to you, girl, kudos to you, boy. But I feel like that's not the case for a lot of us, and that definitely wasn't the case for me. You know, growing up, I was I was just a normal kid. I had a lot of friends, you know. I was a little drama queen, but I was fun to be around and I felt good about myself. And it wasn't until about fifth or sixth grade when, you know, kids at that age are kind of rude and they start teasing people and things like that. And so I definitely got teased a lot for being a bigger kid. Over time, I went from like this normal size to a little chunky little girl. And I didn't know if it was like baby fat. I didn't know what, just happened. Maybe I was eating too much. I wasn't doing sports. I don't know. But I was a lot bigger than, some of the girls in my class. And I got made fun of a lot. And that wasn't the only thing I got made fun of, you know? So that just kind of piled on top of whatever else the kids would say about me. And it bugged me, but you just learn how to deal with it because you realize that half your class is being bullied. So, like, you're just not the only one. Unfortunately, kids are rude and disrespectful as hell. So that's just something you dealt with growing up for most people. You know, going into middle school, like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade was our middle school and the schools out here. So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I experienced for the first time me being like completely aware of my body and how uncomfortable I was and how much I hated being in my own body. And I think middle school and the teenage years is just really weird for anyone to go through. And on top of that, me seeing like, okay, these girls are like going through puberty and developing, and some girls are even having sex, and like that just wasn't me. And it made me really weird knowing that we were getting older and we were maturing. And I've been a year younger than most people in my grade because I have a late birthday. And so I definitely did not mature as fast as the other girls in my class. So that kind of made me very insecure about myself. You know, I was bigger, so I always wanted to cover up. So I always wore clothes that were bigger. I wasn't happy in my own skin. You know, my family, we couldn't afford a lot. So it's not like I was wearing nice clothes or name brand clothes. And I just was just uncomfortable. I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like I was unattractive. You know, these girls that were developing and maturing were attracting these boys, and I liked these boys, and they never liked me. And so it did a number on my self esteem for sure, and my self confidence. I was not a confident kid, leading up into middle school and high school. High school was just a very confusing time for me. You know, I'm a freshman. I'm still as big as I was. I'm in school with these girls that are 16 and 17 with like full grown like woman bodies. And I was still not there yet. And I was definitely not sexually active. And I was still a kid, I was still a kid. But I grew even more insecure, So realizing that in high school, oh, like boys like girls like this. Boys want to get this from girls, it clicks like, okay, people are all about what's on the outside, a lot of people in high school are very shallow. A lot of people in high school just wanted things from people. They used each other. It's just the name of the game. It's high school. It's a hot ass mess. So experiencing that, I just was just shocked. Like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I fit in. I didn't know if I was pretty to people. I didn't feel any of that. I had zero self-confidence in myself whatsoever when I was in high school. My freshman and beginning of my sophomore year, I definitely was very uncomfortable. Towards the end of my sophomore year, I had missed school for a couple weeks. I got the flu, so I got really sick, and I couldn't eat food. Like, I just was sleeping all that time. So when I went back to school, everybody was like, oh my God, Angelica, like, you look so good. What have you been doing? Do you work out now? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, I had the flu. I was out for 2 weeks, And I didn't notice how much weight I had lost from not eating and just, not being physical at all. But I came to the realization that people take notice when you're skinnier. People take notice when you lose weight. People take notice when you change your physical appearance. And whenever somebody told me something about my exterior, that's when I realized how I looked to other people. And then in that moment, when they were telling me how good I looked after being sick for 2 weeks, I realized that, when you lose weight, when you do things like drastically, when you do things that are socially acceptable, you get attention. It's socially acceptable to lose weight. It's not socially acceptable to gain weight. It's a messed up game. But that was our thought process in high school as kids, as teenagers. So I realized in that moment that, oh, like I lost weight, like I look good, like, I'm starting to finally get attention. Going into my junior year, I took that and it definitely gave me a boost of confidence. So my junior year, I definitely gained a lot more friends. A lot of the boys and like the football players and basketball players definitely took notice. I started wearing clothes that were more revealing. I started getting a lot more attention. And this was the moment when I realized that I felt good. I had that self-confidence. I felt good in my own skin. Here's the thing though. I felt good because other people were validating me. Other people told me I looked good. So when I was going out and going to school every morning, I was dressing to impress other people. When I would post pictures on my MySpace, that was to impress other people. When I wanted to show more skin or wear shorter shorts or wear a skirt, that was to impress the boys at school. I was not doing it because of my own self-confidence. And at the time, being so young, you don't really understand that. You just notice that when you do something this way, you get the attention you want. And I was just doing that for all the wrong reasons. I still was not happy with myself, But of course, I'm like 15, 16. I didn't realize that at the time. That was also around the time when I started talking to guys and I started going to parties. And I realized that boys were mostly out for one thing. They wanted your body, they wanted you sexually, they wanted stuff like that. They didn't want to, at least for me, they didn't want to have a relationship with me or get to know me or wife me up, basically, And that did a number, again, on my self-confidence because I was finally at a point where I was happy in my own skin and I got all this attention, but the only thing they want out of me is sex. Like, that's retarded. Like, I was so smart. I took AP classes in school. I had a bunch of extracurriculars. I knew I was headed for college. I had my whole life planned out, and I was a good girl. Like, I wasn't sleeping around at all in high school. And it was just draining, like, talking to guys and thinking they're into you and they're calling you beautiful and they're calling you this and that. But you go out to a party and they want to just hook up with you and they don't want a relationship and just the typical things that a lot of women go through and a lot of girls experience. I was experiencing all of that. So then it put me in a mind state of, well, damn, like, I'm still not enough for these boys. Like, me just being me is not enough. Nobody wants to date me. Nobody wants to wife me up. They just all want to, like, have sex. And that just ripped my self-esteem out of myself. Like, I went back to feeling uncomfortable. I went back to having low self-esteem. I went back to, why am I not enough? And that was my first time experiencing that feeling of, why am I not enough? I think a lot of the relationships that I've been in have had a negative effect on how I look at my body and how I look at myself and accepting myself. I was in a really tumultuous relationship a couple of years ago. And it was like, when we first started talking, it was like honeymoon phase at 1,000%. Like, I was just so infatuated with him and vice versa. It felt good. Like, I thought we were headed in the direction of being faithful to each other and all that good stuff. And, come to find out, I kind of knew because he would post it on social media and stuff. But I just always thought he would be coming home to me or, coming back and calling me. And come to find out, he was talking to so many other women. And every time he would go out, he would get just, just inebriated, like up the walls. And a lot of the things he didn't remember, and he didn't treat me how I should have been treated. And so it also, again, put me in that headspace of, why am I not enough for this person? And then I would look at the girls that he would do whatever with, and they were always like, they had a full face of makeup. A lot of them were smaller than me. A lot of them had like nails done. A lot of them were hot ass messes, and a lot of them had boyfriends and all kind of stuff, but that's a different story. But the point is, I'm sitting here tearing myself apart, saying, what do I have, or what does she have that I don't? And you never, 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 never want to go down that road, because you start questioning everything about yourself, including your body. And that is exactly what I did. I was like, I need to lose weight. I need to get rid of these stretch marks. I need to put nails back on. I need to buy more makeup. I need my hair to always be straight. Like, I just went into a mode of just having zero self-confidence in myself, and me blaming me and the way I looked as to why this man couldn't be faithful to me. And I just, to this day, it still bugs me. Like, this day, just me thinking back to how unhappy I was, now I know I will never put up with that again. And so I kind of am grateful for that situation, but it hurts. Like, thinking back to that, it just hurts, because I talked down to myself so much being in that relationship, and I didn't deserve that. And, to this day, I know the kind of woman that I am, and that my exterior, it's not the best. I have a bunch of different flaws, but so does everyone else. You'd be surprised at the type of flaws that these beautiful women have, and they embrace it. And then, I have slowly learned to embrace it as well. So now going into CrossFit, that's where I lost, a bunch of weight. I had gained a bunch of weight coming home from college, and I lost it all fairly fast. I think that gave me a boost of confidence, and the confidence that I needed, because in CrossFit, I was doing things I never thought I would do. I never thought I would get a pull-up. I never thought I would pick up a barbell. I never thought I'd be competing in weightlifting. I never thought I'd be losing 40 plus pounds either. And so CrossFit gave me self-confidence from within. It had nothing to do with other people. When you're in CrossFit, you're not trying to impress other people. You're trying to compete with yourself. You're trying to make yourself better. You're trying to reach your goals. You're trying to become a happier, healthier you. And that's what I love about CrossFit, is that anybody can feel that. All you have to do is put in the work, put in the effort, and you'll see the results that you want. And then there's always something to be achieved in CrossFit, so you're working harder each and every time. So, I was able to lose a bunch of weight in CrossFit, and my body was getting toned up and getting defined. And before, I was definitely one of those girls. I was like, ooh, I do not want to get bulky. Like, I don't want to have these big ass muscles and blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what I strive for now, is to kind of have a defined, more, I don't want to say muscular body, but I just want a more defined body. And it's changed the perception of what I deemed beautiful before. I thought being thin and just being like slim thick, was like the way to go. But I want some muscle definition, I want to be toned, and I want my body to reflect the hard work that I put into it. I see these girls in CrossFit, and I see, they go in there with like the sports bra and the booty shorts, and that's great, and kudos to them. But that's not the kind of girl I am. I've never been one to just be in a sports bra and like some booty shorts, you know what I mean? So I feel like when I'm working out, I like to be comfortable. I'm not trying to pick my shorts out my ass. I'm not trying to have like a titty slip. I wear t-shirts, and I wear, my capris or my leggings, and call it a day. I think getting into CrossFit, a lot of people see that, and sometimes you want to be able to work out in a sports bra. You want to be able to wear the shorts and stuff. That doesn't bother me as much anymore. It did at one point, because I'm like, well, I need to be as skinny. I need to be as lean as they are, so I can wear what they wear too. And even when I see some of the girls like take off their shirts in class, and they do their workouts, sometimes I'm like, damn, I wish I could take off my shirt. But I feel like there's no need. But not for me, at least, Being in a sport that's kind of all you see is like the less clothes, the more fit you are, in a sense. I've learned to not take that personally. And I've learned that I'm just being comfortable in my own skin. Like, I just prefer having clothes on when I work out. So that's a little bit of a hump that I've had to get over in terms of just, being in a CrossFit gym. But I mean, those girls are ripped. Like, they work hard and they want to show it off. And I don't blame them, you know. I'm definitely not there yet because I don't put in the work that I should. But I don't feel that pressure either to have to work out in a sports bra and booty shorts. So just me now being 24 years of age and learning to accept my flaws and learning how to take the lessons out of my past experiences and apply them. I've become a lot happier with myself and I've become a lot happier with my body. My body is constantly changing. You know, 4 months ago, I weighed 10 pounds less than what I did now, roughly. My weight's fluctuating. You know, I'm getting older, hormones are changing. I just learned to go with the flow. I've also learned from my past relationships that you shouldn't be doing anything for other people. Anything you do to yourself or for yourself is for you. It should not be for other people. B, I've learned what I'm willing to allow and not allow in my relationships and friendships and, you know, things like that, all from experience. C, I've learned to never, 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 never blame myself for other people's mistakes or other people's judgments or anything like that. You know, a lot of the relationships that I was in, I was blaming myself. Like I said earlier, I was saying, what does she have that I don't? What did I do wrong? Like, you have to cut that out. Because if you are a good person with good intentions and you know what you bring to the table, you'll understand that the other person is the one with the issues. The other person has things in their life they need to work on. The other person is in it for them. They're seeing what they can get out of it for them. And if they loved you and if they really cared about you, they wouldn't do you how they did you. And I think me learning to accept that the past failures were not my fault, that was kind of the epiphany to learning to love myself again. And you have to be able to love yourself to love what you bring on the outside, you know? I love even though when I turn 24, I have all this like facial acne. I love that I can still walk out the house with no makeup and no foundation. Like, everyone has acne at some point, so I really don't care if you see it or not. I'd rather have my face breathe than to have a bunch of makeup on it. You know, I have stretch marks on my sides and on my hips, and I love my stretch marks because every woman has stretch marks or will get stretch marks, and honestly, men could care less about your stretch marks, you know, and so I embrace, you know, those flaws about me. I'm not the skinniest. I still have rolls or I still have a little excess fat. Everyone does. And there's girls who are skinny that wish they were thicker. There's girls that are thicker that wish they were skinny. Like, no, everybody wants something that somebody else has. I've just learned to love every part of me because you only get one body, you only get one spirit, you only get one life to live. And I just want to make it the healthiest I can make it. And I want to be happy. Like, as I get older, time's moving really fast. I don't know what happens when I leave Earth, but I do know that I want to be happy. I don't want to waste any more time blaming myself or trying to impress others or trying to fit in. I just want to love me and just enjoy me. There's people out there that are going to accept you. And you're not always going to come across them every day or every month or every year, but they're out there. And so it's very important that like, you just don't focus on anyone else but yourself. Your body was made for you, not for anyone else. So I'm in a very great headspace right now. You know, now if like people come to me and just want to use me, I can sense that and I stay away from those kind of people. When people come to me and compliment me, I say thank you, but I don't let it blow my head up either. I'm very humble about it. The power lies in you to decide whether you're going to be happy about your body or you're going to hate it or you're going to feel uncomfortable with it. So if you want to make changes, make sure you're doing it for you. If you're happy and you accept your body, kudos, you know, because it takes a lot of time for some of us to get to that point. So I hope this helps you guys in some sort of way or fashion. But I know that body image is something that we deal with, you know, in society. It's something we deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's something we deal with as individuals. But you can't let it control your life. So I'll see you guys next time.